Hello there, yarn lovers. It's Gary, and I'm coming to you from my happy place, the Yarn Corner here on the west coast of Canada. How are you all doing? I hope you're well and staying safe. It is Saturday, January the 11th, 2025, and I have to say it because it's my first podcast or recording that I'm doing in the new year. So happy New Year, everyone. I hope you had a great New Year's Eve. I know it was a while back, and that you're having a good start to your year. All the blessings and all the well wishes for the course of this new year that we're embarking on. And I hope that we have great yarn adventures together. Anyway, I'm looking over there because I'm getting distracted on all the piles of things that I've put up. It's almost like a visual note in different mounds that I've got to go through over the course of the next few videos. So it's kind of like a visual reminder that I've got to do things, and it's distracting me. So yeah, I'm going to concentrate and focus on you because I want to hear all about what you've been up to in your new year and your start to the new year. Have you made anything, or are you making something right now that you are in love with, or you can't wait to get back to working on? I have a few of those projects right now going in and out of my project bags, and I'm working crazily away at them, thinking about what I need to do when I come up to the next section, because they're all in different kind of, I guess, formations and patterns that I've got to work my way through. So, but that's not what we're here for today. Before I get going, I do want to welcome anyone who has just switched onto the channel and let them know that this channel has been set up to talk about all of my yarny adventures. That's in knitting, crocheting, as well as I talk about my acquisitions, where I purchase my yarn from, all tools of my craft. So if that's of interest, I hope that you stick around. For those who are returning, thank you so much for letting me know what you've been working on. I did drop a few acquisition videos towards the end of last year, and I wasn't sure about some of the yarn that I purchased, but I did get confidence in the yarn that I purchased to use it, because there were stories about what you'd worked on with the yarn, and that you were saying it wasn't splitty, it worked out very nicely, and these were gifts that you give out to people. I heard blankets, I heard some baby items, and I loved hearing all of that. So thank you again for sharing those makes and letting me know that you use the yarn. So I really appreciate that. I always start with my videos on what Hank, my man form, is wearing, and I did have something on earlier, but I have taken it off. So it's just Hank that's wearing something right now. He is wearing a knitted scarf called the Sparklight scarf, and it was a pattern that I followed, designed by Erin Kurup. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing the surname correctly, but it's Kurup. And I'll link all of the pattern details that I mentioned in this video down in the description box, along with any other podcasters or YouTube channels or tutorials. So if you need some more information about what I might mention, go check down there to find out where you can go and find out more information. So there was a few modifications to this that I had made. There was a certain stitch that I was having issues with doing with this type of yarn, because this yarn had no spring to it, but it's a beautiful, beautiful cotton linen yarn, and I wanted to use it. It was a gifted yarn, and this was in minis, and it went through the color ranges itself. So I just pulled from the minis and added the next color in the fade section selection. And the only thing that I added to it was the Knit Picks, kind of like a purplish gray here. And it's this garter section and eyelet crossover lace work that is the added modification that I made, because I couldn't do the stitch that was bringing in lots of different almost like, I think it was a 3 stitch kind of work stitch, if that makes any sense. So I had to use 3 stitches together, in some way, and it wasn't stretching enough for me. So there was a lot of pulling. Yeah, so in this video, what I'm going to be talking about is acquisition that I made when Chad, myself, and Pixel, so Chad's my husband and Pixel's my dog, were heading towards Vancouver for Christmas. So we made our way over on Christmas Eve, which was the 24th of December, obviously. And we raced down to board the ferry, leaving enough time because we didn't know what the situation would be for traffic. And lo and behold, there's a Michael's store there. Where I live, that's the closest Michael's, which is a couple of hours away. So I don't get there very often. So Chad was, he's so supportive. He said, why don't you go and check out Michael's and see whether they have any sales? And I checked on my phone, and lucky for me, lo and behold, there was a 30% off all yarn. So I thought, oh great, I can go and have a look. Now, a lot of these yarns were ones that I wanted to get, well, not a lot, but there are two brands and collections of yarn that I'm going to show you that were either not on sale for the longest time here in Canada, and I wanted a few of the colorways, and then finally, now that the sale was on, I was hoping to see them, and I did. I purchased a few of them. The other ones are just for stash because I am thinking of doing a few more blankets, so I want yarn, enough yarn to do join as you go method in crochet, or if I'm doing something modular, I can have enough of the same color to join lots of things together for blankets. Excuse me. So let's get going. I'm using my little receipt here that I have. All the price points will be in Canadian currency. So if you are from a different part of the world, you'll have to do the conversion in your head to see whether this is a great deal or not. So I thought it was a good deal. 30% off, you can't go wrong. So let's start with what they had when I walked in. On the middle aisle, they have generally the clearance or the discounted yarn. They had a full rack of shelves with this Lion Hearts. Sorry, it's Lion brand. I'm thinking Red Heart, Lion brand. Mashing it together. It's Lion brand yarns, Pound of Love. And I'm just going to take a swig here. Had something in my throat. Okay, so Pound of Love by Lion brand, and it is 4-weight yarn. This was all on, like, they wanted to move it out, so they had whatever they had in the back and they couldn't get rid of. They had moved it all into the central aisle so that people could see that these were on sale. And I thought, I'm going to grab some of these for exactly what I mentioned about having enough yarn of the same color to join for blankets. So this is the colorway called Sugar Cookie. I really like it. I like it. It's neutral. So if I choose something that's got color in it, it's going to allow it to pop. It's going to weigh it down too much, and it's going to give it some nice warmth. So yeah, it's nice and soft. Out of 5, I'm going to give this a 2.5, 3. So it sort of sits just above average. There's nothing prickly about it. It's not coarse at all. It's quite nice and squishy. Let's take a look at that 4-weight that they're saying. Some people consider it to be quite a thin 4-weight. I'm going to say, yeah, I agree. I think it's a 4. It's definitely not a 3. So that's it there. Nice round twisted yarn, so it's not like flat. And let's take a look at some of the ingredients, shall we? They're suggesting here a 5mm set of knitting needles, 6mm crochet hook in this 16-ounce or 454-gram ball. I am getting 1,020 yards or 932 meters. This is a yarn that is manufactured in Turkey. It has the Okio Tech stamp here that it's been tested against harmful substances, which is always nice to know. And what else can I tell you? Care instructions. It's 100% a premium acrylic, and they're saying you can machine wash and you can tumble dry. So those are the different styles of symbols that they're using for care instructions. Now, my price point on regular for the Pound of Love is $14.99, so 15 bucks, and I got it for $10.50. I thought that was great. Savings of $5, maybe $4.50. Yeah, $4.50. So likewise with my sugar cookie color, which was warm, I thought I'd get one that was a little cooler. So this one also to join modular things together, and this is called Elephant Gray. So very nice, soft, slightly blue-gray color. And the feel of this one feels a little, maybe not as soft as the sugar cookie. And sometimes that is because the ball is wound a little tighter, or the dye might be causing a little bit more crispiness in the yarn itself. But no issues whatsoever with that. Against my skin, if I needed to make a garment, that'd be fine. I also got this color here, which is denim. And this one has a nice effect to it. It does look slightly heathered. There are strands or bits and pieces of this one that doesn't have a solid color that it's holding. So there's a bit of a bleed almost, or a speckling, and you can see there's a big kind of blob there that's not being dyed. But I don't mind that. It gives it extra dimension. Next thing that I have here is loops and threads. It's called Heathered Tweed, and it's a polyester blend. I got 2 of these balls here, and the colorway is called Iceberg. I have used this yarn before in a different colorway called Soot, and I crocheted up my co-worker who retired, her a beautiful scarf. And I used it, and it was a lovely fabric at the end when I worked it up. I just used the rice stitch, and then I intertwined thread work to sew on some line work, and I did some like plaid sort of designs, and it turned out really nice. So I thought I'd get some more of it. It is Heathered Tweed. What can I tell you about this one? It's considered a lightweight 3. Let's take a look at that. With the fuzz, that's a healthy 3 for sure. I would treat it, and I used a very fat hook so that if I did made a mistake when I had to rip back, it wasn't going to catch up on itself with all the fuzz. And it worked really well. So a 6.5 millimeter is their suggestion on a crochet hook, and a 6 millimeter set of knitting needles. I believe I used the 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. What am I getting in here? I'm just rolling it around and around. 150 grams, which gives me 418 yards or 382 meters. The care instructions here are to hand wash and to lay flat to dry. So it's a very delicate type yarn that you've got to care for. 66% polyester, 30% acrylic, and 4% wool. I think that's all the information that I can give you. Now, the price point on this one, I did get 2 balls of it, so I got to do the math, and it is, gotta find it. You're the first one. There we go. Okay, regularly it's $9.99, so $10 per ball, and each of them after the discount was $6.99, so $3 off per ball. I thought that was good, and it does have a nice, as it says, the name suggests, it's iceberg. The white and the little gray quality of it has a tinge of blue in it. So I do like those. So the next ones that I'm going to show you are the two cakes that I've been wanting to buy on sale because I didn't want to purchase them at regular price. I find them a little bit too expensive, but here we were with the 30% off, and I thought I'd jump at the chance. So when I was continuing walking around, I noticed that the Caron cakes were there with the new colors that I wanted. About 8 months ago they came out, and it's the skinny cakes, the Caron skinny cakes. I'm just trying to find where the label is. There it is there. And I got two colorways. This one here is called Peach Mint. I really like those colors. My idea with using these two skinny cakes that I got is to dismantle all the colors and then use them in a way where I can color manage. I see that that's been done with the scarf that they've put here, because there's like really considerate cubes, and the colors look like they have been color controlled. So yeah, I got that one, and I got this one here, which is called Spumanti. I think it's called Spumanti. Spumoni? Spumoni, maybe. I think Spumani might be an alcoholic beverage. So yeah, we have like, again, a little bit of a mint green. I'm going to say it's bordering on almost an aqua, and some tan oranges. So yeah, same thing. I'm going to cut out the colors and then color control with them. Let me just read you a little bit about them if you've not familiarized yourself with Caron skinny cake. It is considered a 3-weight yarn. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, it's a very thin 3-weight yarn. So I'm going to say, yeah, it's slightly lighter in the reality of it than a 3. And let's take a look at how much we're getting in each of these cakes. 250 grams offers up 795 yards or 727 meters. It is a yarn that is manufactured in, I think I read India. And do you think that I'd be able to find it when I needed to? It's 100% acrylic, and it says here it's machine washable and dryable. The knitting needles and crochet hook size is 4 millimeters. And I don't know, I did read it somewhere. There's like lots of things dancing around on this label that makes it hard for me to focus on where it might be made. I'm going to say it was made in India. There we go. Who knows? Perhaps India. But I love them. Have you used the new colors? Are you happy with the new colors? 8 months old, I guess. Let's take a look at how much this cost. So my price point here is saying the Caron skinny cakes were $14.99. So everything seems to be $15 nowadays. And I got it for $10.49. So $5 off, I believe. So if my maths is correct, I thought that was a good deal. And the last thing that I got in here was one I wanted to try. I didn't, fall in love with all of the colorways. Actually, a lot of them I didn't enjoy at all. But this one in particular stood out to me because it did remind me of a nostalgic experience. And it's the Caron cinnamon swirl cakes. Now, they came out with a few ones that are like this, and then they came out with a series of marled ones that had kind of almost like a self-patterning type marl strip in between the solid colors. And yeah, I didn't really care for them much, but this one I loved because of the name. So the name of this one is called Beach Towel. Now, I don't know whether when you were younger, perhaps maybe your family took you to a sunny destination, like maybe a spot to swim in, a lake or river, or in our instance, it was on the beach in Australia. And we'd always pass by these little souvenir shops where our parents gave us, you know, pocket money and said, go in there and buy whatever you wanted. So I'd buy like a souvenir towel that had the name of the small town that we were visiting. And so these colors remind me so much of those towels. So I thought I'd get myself 2 of them. Look at those beautiful colors. It just makes me happy. Not sure what I'm going to make with it yet, but definitely wanted to purchase it for the sale and keep it for the time when I wanted to make something with it. And I don't know, I might be doing something along the lines of maybe a small blanket that has a solid colored work with it, and these and offers up little windows, and this could be the background playing in between all the little windows of the main color or the solid color. And I have the perfect pattern in mind for it, but I don't know what it will look like if it's done in a bulky 4, or I should say a medium 4 weight. So I'll have to test it out, but more on that later. Let's look at the price point. So the price point of the cinnamon swirl originally was $14.99 again, so $15, and I got it for $10.50. So my invoice or my receipt here is telling me that all up with the sale point, I saved myself $37.47. And I thought that was well worth it. Getting some yarn that I'd been longing to have the colors in and waiting for the sale was worth the wait. And trying some bigger yarns like the Pound of Love for projects that require something like 1,000 yards for joining, and I have enough in a nice warm color and a cool color, and I have that denim color as well. I'm really happy with it. Now, I want to hear if you have purchased anything from Michael's lately on the sales. What did you get? Was there something here that was perhaps maybe not on sale that you were looking for? Are you gravitating to any of the things that I showed you in particular? So yeah, I want to hear all about your shopping, any sales. Drop them in the comments down below. And I am now distracted by looking over there to see I have certain things that I could get through in next video, or maybe I can do some more batch recording and then slowly present them. There are wonderful gifts that have arrived. We had a strike in Canada, so there was no post that was being delivered over the course of, I think, maybe 30 days. So it just ended before Christmas, a week before Christmas. So things were held up when the workers went back to work. And I have got myself some wonderful cards to share with you, as well as a beautiful gift box. And I will show those in a video that's up and coming. And there's another project reveal on different projects that I've put together. And I've got to split that up because there are project bags over there that I think are around 13 project bags with yarn and patterns. And I want to review them to see whether they're still on my radar, or should I take the yarn out and use it somewhere else. So I hope that you join in watching those videos when I bring them out. I'll see you later, and Happy New Year again. Bye for now.